who, for those of you on the committee who don't know, Senator Nessa sponsors the Senate duplicate of this bill. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman and representatives. I want to start by thanking you for your service and for the long nights. We're all familiar with them, but it takes special people to be able to sit here and listen to this very difficult testimony to hear. So thank you for that. You know, I really rarely come over from the Senate side to the House. I think I have only testified on bills over here once or maybe twice, and this is my 9th year. But frankly, this bill is just so important that I have to be over here and I have to have my voice heard along with the others. And I know, the day that I called my good friend, Representative Carol Hagan-McEntee, and asked her if she would be the sponsor on the House side, God was with me that day. And God writes straight with crooked lines, but I had no idea of her family story and the story of her sister. And I really want to thank you, Representative McEntee, for your fierce leadership over here on the House side. And I want to assure you, the survivors who are present, and the members on the committee that I will do everything, I will spare nothing on the Senate side to try to do my part to get this bill passed on our side. Now, it's interesting, I see my good friend Peg Langhammer here. I have been working against sexual abuse and sexual assault since my college days. Literally, it was the first volunteer job I had at Brown University, was at what used to be called the Rape Crisis Center. And as Peg Langhammer knows, I spent countless hours in the Rape Crisis Center trying to help victims of sexual abuse and sexual assault. But what can I say after hearing the victims testify? I mean, the survivors leave me speechless, they leave me tearful, and frankly, they leave me a little sick in my stomach from the stories that I hear about what happened to them by people, in whose care they were entrusted. And, as somebody who grew up Catholic, and of course the bill, as has been so aptly stated, does not just apply against the Catholic Church. Very important that we all know it applies to educational institutions, charitable organizations, whether it's the Cub Scouts or the Boys and Girls Clubs. It applies across the board to public schools if these kind of things happen in public schools as well. But I know for me, having gone to 8 years of Catholic school and having been raised a staunch Catholic whose family not only went to church on Sunday, I mean, my father went to Mass and Holy Communion every single day of his life, for my entire adult life, for my entire childhood life, for as long as I can even remember. And, I know that until the Catholic Church and any of these institutions open their bank accounts for justice for these victims, I certainly cannot rejoin the Catholic Church until I see that happens. But, what do I want to say to hear my colleagues, all of you as fellow legislators? And what I want to say is that, I'm sure most of you, if not all of you, like me, we ran for office to try to make a difference in the lives of people. We ran for office to try to help people. Well, ladies and gentlemen of this committee, this is our opportunity to make a difference. And, I thought that every generation has its calling. Every generation has the opportunity in a meaningful way to ease the pain of human suffering. And this is our calling. This is our chance as legislators to ease the pain of so much human suffering that we have heard testified to here today. And I think what I want to say also is that, we have all been around for what I refer to as the end of the year chaos. Let's not let this bill get caught up in the end of the year chaos. On both sides, let's not make these poor people ever, these strong victims, these strong survivors, ever have to come back to this State House again and beg for what we should stand up and do, and we should do it soon. So I will do everything I can on my side. And again, let's not leave this to the last final days of the session. This bill is far too important to leave to that era when tensions are tight and things are happening way too quickly. Let's get this bill done early, and let's get the opportunity for access to justice for these strong, wonderful survivors. Thank you so much for your time.